So a small tragedy struck, and I accidentally deleted episode 6 through 15 of this playthrough before I could edit in the audio and upload them to YouTube. So what I'm doing now is I am re-recording the audio on my own after replaying the entirety of Final Fantasy IV over the course of a week and cutting the footage from the missing section down to 10 episodes. This is going to be a little different from the episodes we've done so far, not that you've seen any of those because nobody is watching. They're going to be much shorter in general. I've edited them at something of a breakneck speed, cutting out most of the dungeons because most of the dungeons aren't terribly interesting. So it's mostly just going to be story bit, with the bosses thrown in and the occasional random encounter wherever they seemed interesting. I'm also not going to feel obliged to talk throughout the entirety of these episodes, simply because, well, I don't feel like it. But we're going to get through it, and like I said, most of these are going to be shorter than usual. This one is 28 minutes, simply because there's a lot of story bits that went on before I felt comfortable cutting it. Most of the remaining episodes are around 15 minutes. I believe 2 of them were actually as short as 12 minutes. So depending on how I feel about this afterwards, Final Fantasy 6 and 7 might be cut down similarly. 5 is cut down quite a bit once we get about halfway through that one. 6 and 7 might be cut to the bone, depending on if this feels too breakneck to me or not. So I'm just going to sit here and comment whenever I feel obliged. In the meantime, just feel free to enjoy the music and the game. So I do enjoy this little prophecy that they talk about, simply because it's not a simple rhyme as you would have expected, but I'm confused as to why they refer to Cecil as having been born of a dragon. I've just beaten the game twice, and I can't recall his dad being referred to as a dragon at any point, nor his mom, though, come to think of it, I don't think his mother is ever referenced anywhere. Maybe his mom is literally a dragon, who knows? I do enjoy that it's the Elder talking to Tella there, but Tella appears to be accosting a fat black mage. Meteor, that legendarily useless spell, because it takes about 5 minutes to cast. God. That's one of my biggest problems with this game, is the raw delay in spell casting. It makes your casters... Well, it makes Rydia, I should say, fairly useless later on. It just takes so long for her to cast Flare or Meteor, or to summon Leviathan or Bahamut, that in the final fight against the final boss, you might not even want to keep her around. Why is it called the Devil's Road? Is it situated in the American Northwest? And that weird audio transition right there was in-game. It's a little rough at times. Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate this music. I hate Palamemporum so much. I wonder if Nobuo Uematsu hated them as well, and just gave them this terrible music. They just look terrible, if nothing else. Their sprites are awful. And here we go, the Devil's Road. Hail Satan, or something like that. It certainly sounds spooky. I think you might encounter the devil at any moment. I would appreciate if there was a random encounter you could have in there, and only in there. Or even a whole secret dungeon a la Wild Arms. Even on my second playthrough, I completely neglected to come down here and check this place out. And now we have Yang, who apparently is being mind-controlled by the Empire. They never really go into it, so it doesn't make much sense. You just saw there that Tella doesn't have enough mana to cast Medio, and that's because in the original versions of this game, his MP is capped at 90. So no matter how much you level him up, he can't go above 90 MP, and Medio costs 95 or 99 MP to cast. In later editions of the game, they did give him the ability to go above 90 MP, so you can cast Medio early. In this one, though, you're completely out of luck. Unfortunately, that means that he's very hamstrung in terms of the spells that he can cast, because level 3 spells, which he has almost immediate access to, cost 30 MP each. At least. Bolt 3, Fire 3, and Ice 3 cost 30 MP, so you can get 3 whole casts of those before he's completely out of mana. Granted, he can use Psych, which will drain MP from the enemy, but it's kind of a bummer that he runs out so quickly. And Yang is a bit of a rough fight because he just keeps using Kick, and Kick does a huge amount of damage to your mages, so you just want to keep blasting him down and topping your party off as much as possible. For whatever reason, when I fought him this time, he was barely using it. The first time I fought him, he just was going kick, 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 kick. Even Cecil was in a state of near death very quickly. This game is weird like that. Sometimes the enemies will get a huge number of attacks in before you can do anything, and sometimes they just won't. And it's not reliant upon whether or not you have the advantage, or they ambush you, or anything like that. It's just very inconsistent. See right there, one single cast of Psych restored more mana than he actually has, so he's back to full now and can cast anything he wants. But Yang is, well, not dead, but defeated. Leviathan sounds like a monstrous tanning salon. Well, seeing as how Yang survived, they have every reason to assume Rydia and Edward are dead. You think that'd give them some ray of hope, at least? I guess he was impersonating Yang, but I don't know. One slight problem this game has is that occasionally the text boxes cover up whomever is talking. There's one particular moment where it's really bad, where they basically cover up the top half of a room where 2 of the 3 or 4 characters who are talking are located. And so it seems as though the 2 characters who aren't covered up are just talking to themselves. Hooray, now we can unlock shit all over town. I believe initially this episode would have been cut there, and then the following content would have been in the next episode. For whatever reason, my subsequent edit didn't quite work out that way. So that waterway is just a waterway. There's a lot of hidden passages, and you fight turtles and fish, and I think they're electric fish, which absorb lightning, and that's really annoying, because there are other fish you can encounter with them, which don't absorb lightning. And so you have a monster which is weak to an element, which the other monster absorbs. Very frustrating. Oh, this asshole. This asshole, during my initial playthrough, was the big stumbling block that I had. The first moment where I thought, okay, this is the Final Fantasy IV that I remember. This is the brutal, unforgiving Final Fantasy IV that I remember from when I first tried to play it all the way back in 2003. A playthrough which I gave up on at one point, and I'll explain the exact moment where I gave up. When I first fought him, during my initial playthrough at the beginning of this year, he was a pain in the ass. He wiped me out like 5 times, and then when I finally did beat him, I just pulled through. This one goes quite a bit better. One thing I came to realize while replaying this game over this past week is that the trick to a lot of these bosses is actually just to be patient. Part of what made this guy so painful at first is that I was trying to cast Bolt 3 and Fire 3 so I could blow him up as fast as possible. But of course he's afflicted with Wall, which in this game acts as Reflect. And there's no way of telling if they have Reflect active other than to cast a spell on them. So I would cast Bolt 3, Fire 3, one of those powerful spells, hoping it would hit him, his body that is, and do a huge amount of damage, only to realize, oh, he has Wall active. And that spell, of course, would be strong enough to just wipe out one of my party members in a single hit. What I do here is basically just sideline my casters, have them on secondary healing duty, and have Yang and Cecil just slowly chip away at the body. Destroy the left arm to prevent his physical attacks, because the magic attacks that the right arm casts aren't actually all that painful or powerful. If you're keeping your party alive, that is. So he can cast haste on it, on his body, all he wants. It's just have the rest of my party keep topping them off, and then have Cecil and Yang chip away at the body, and then it goes down pretty quick. Maybe don't take advantage of Berserk, simply because then you can't control where they attack, and if they happen to kill that right arm, both arms will regenerate. And then you're not necessarily in trouble, but you're just wasting time. And there we go. Now you just have to kill the right arm, which is just hanging in space. It's very stupid. And dead. With absolutely no trouble. And this gave me some hope that my second playthrough would not be as painful as my first. Because again, I think that encounter took me 6 attempts to initially beat, and this time I did it right away. They certainly do enjoy king impersonation in these games, don't they? I think Final Fantasy 1 had it, Final Fantasy 2, well, Final Fantasy 2 had a queen impersonation, but the same thing, basically. 4 has it. Maybe 5 has it? I think 6 has it too. And now we have the first of the elemental theme, well no, the second of the elemental themes, remixed from Final Fantasy 1. This one's a big turtle who looks kind of like a yokai of some sort. So the first time I fought this guy was also much more powerful than when I fight him this time around. When that water wall comes up around him, you're supposed to cast Bolt on him, which breaks the barrier and prevents him from using Tsunami. But usually he still uses Tsunami anyway, I think because this game is slightly busted and often doesn't work as it's supposed to. That time around, however, he did not. My first playthrough, though, I would often get that Bolt cast on him while he had the barrier up, and it would break, but then immediately Tsunami warning, and then it devastated my party. I beat him on my first attempt, but he decimated me, and I think only Cecil and Yang were left alive. See, right there is the spell that he'll normally cast while the barrier is up, and if it's up, it will do huge amounts of damage. There it was pitiful. But again, because this game is surprisingly janky at times, I have no idea why he insists on casting it so often. And again, there we go. He's just dead, no problem. My party is almost at full health even. In my initial playthrough, I wasn't at a lower level. I might actually be at a lower level now than I was then. Now we have Sid! Except, wait a minute. We already have 5 party members. Anytime you have 5 party members and another party member pops up in this game, something bad's about to happen. As if Sid gives a fuck about a great sage. Also, if my voice sounds a bit scratchy and sleepy, it's because I'm recording this at 9 a.m. and I woke up about 30 minutes ago. Granted, it's a Sunday, so that's sleeping in for me. On a regular workday, I get a good 5. Uh-oh, not one of these assholes again. Somehow coming back from death to taunt us. Oh no! Actually, why is the water elemental trying to crush us? You think this room would flood with water or something? But then Palom and Porum couldn't do their thing, I guess. Aw, now they're stone. And now they get the sad music. So they're dead. Aw, sad sprite. Tella is just so full of vengeance right now. His daughter, these two. Fuck. So Sid's ship is called the Enterprise, which is a very obvious reference to Star Trek. And I have to wonder if that was present in the original Japanese or if that's one of those licenses that the English localizers took. Maybe I'm just completely missing something, but I don't know why they need Cecil and crew to go get this crystal for them when Golbez is a nearly all-powerful deity, and so far they've collected the rest of the crystals with no problems whatsoever. And I must say, you get access to an airship in this game fairly quick compared to most other Final Fantasies. Which is nice, because there's a lot of world to go explore. Of course, as soon as you pop up out of the ground, we get approached by Kane in his much cooler looking ship. That's a most unfortunate line, and again, I have to wonder if that's from the original Japanese or if that's just an English translator taking creative license. So, Kane seems like he would give Cecil a bit of a ribbing, but to say that drag suits you doesn't make any sense. Offensive. Maybe really offensive, I don't know. And that's about it for this episode. Next time, we will be off to Troya to go find the remaining crystal.